Listen, Billy Pilgrim has come unstuck in time. Hey, good Friday evening to everyone. How are you? And welcome to the Victory Lap. That's right, guys. We got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. And by we, I mean all of you, me, everyone out there who went to a full court press against Wizards of the Coast and all of this nonsense, with them basically trying to drag the game back away from people trying to create things. Hello, Car Morgan, Jimmy Invictus, Death Angel Shadow. But we did it. Now, let's talk about the general reaction of folks out there. But before I do that, before we get too far into it, I do want to mention, as I often do, because this show now has a sponsor, that tonight's live stream is brought to you by Hellebarde Games. Hellebarde publishes the modules they'd like to play, with offerings for OSR, Castles and Crusades, and 5th edition. No matter what rules are in use, old school gaming is at the table. You can grab Hellebarde modules on DriveThruRPG or via the Hellebarde website at hellebardegames.com. So, let's get into it, guys. Let's talk about what everybody's talking about. It's been rocky. It's been a little rocky, Car. But I want to raise my glass. I want to raise my glass to everyone who's helped, everyone who's fought, everyone who's gone out on social media and harried Wizards of the Coast into making this decision. And I also want to raise a toast, a proper toast, because if you missed last night's live stream, you missed a lot of fun, because Eric Garland and Heidi Gygax, that last name's not a coincidence. That is Gary's daughter. Not only are they getting married, but to celebrate it and to enter the world of tabletop gaming, they kickstarted a module project that met its Kickstarter goal right on this channel during the live stream. So if you kids happen to be watching, last night was a lot of fun. Oh, Mexis Sprite, that is good. Now, I said at the get-go, at the outset, I said all the way back at the beginning of this month, Dungeons and Dragons is us. This and this belongs to us. And we've proven it. We have proven it. And I'm very happy about that. So I'm having a Guinness right now. So let's talk a little bit about it. First of all, I'm not a lawyer. All right. I haven't been over this thing with a fine-tooth comb yet. I have people who have legal law talking brain type people skills, which I think that is the official name, legal law talking brain type people skills, for people who do the law talking in front of the decider guy who wears the black dress. Gen X geek, greetings. It is a night of celebration. But I'm not any of those things. What I am and what I have been and what I always will be is a gamer and a guy who likes to create stuff. And I said, when all this started to roll in, that we had to stick together and we had to remember that this is ours, that this is ours. And we did it. All right. Now, a lot of people immediately when this news is out, they tripped over themselves. They knocked over furniture. They stepped on the cat. They kicked the dog. They stumbled down the hall, pulling up the throw rugs to get to the medicine cabinet so they could swallow a handful of black pills. And then come back with, well, you know, this is just the same thing. They're just going to do it again. We haven't won anything. You're all going to ignore this. And then in 6 months, they're going to do it all over again. Ain't nobody got time for that. And then, of course, there's the famous, that's right, John David, we did win. There's the famous, the famous, nothing's really changed. Nothing has really changed. And you didn't do anything. You, the collective thing. Look, I know I wasn't the only person. Okay. That's not what I'm suggesting. You didn't do it. You didn't win anything. These are the kind of snooty people who will walk over to you when you're wearing your favorite team's jersey after they win the national championship, the Super Bowl, the World Series, whatever, and come over and say, you didn't win any games. Guys, we all did, okay? And I'm not settling for the negativity, and I never had. This channel has always been about positive things. And we've held together tight. Let's not fall apart now over, the placement of a comma in any statements. We have won an incredibly important campaign. All right. I know the war's not over. I still want to see irrevocable attached to the OGL 1.0A. I want to see irrevocable on that. People are telling me, well, no, because they put the whole 5.1 under the Creative Commons data, the OGL 1.0A is, then if it's not important, do it anyway. If it's not important, just do it. So we have them where we want them. We have them in the we've pushed them back to their borders. All right. And the question is, are you going to settle for the status quo antebellum? Or are you going to push for more? I don't want things to go back to the way they were on January 3rd. I want things to go back to the way they were in 2006, 2005. Clanner Jake, what? What? That's amazing. Wow, I'm putting that up there. I'm full of my own ego right now. I had people with 250,000 subs mention me on their videos and my dedication to making. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Thank you for telling me that. I didn't know that. I'm just over here in my little corner of the internet. And by the way, in case anybody's curious, because I know some of you guys do get that way, curious. Let's see here. The channel, if this page will refresh, come on. We're at 3,802 subs on the channel. I have a sneaking suspicion. that maybe there's going to be a little bit like we have engaged main engine cutoff, and we are now coasting. We'll continue to rise for a little while, and then we'll settle into a stable orbit again. I'm getting mentioned round Tuberville. That is actually pretty astounding. Okay, Bill Trethway asks, and I'm gonna answer this because I know you guys we got coming in. I know folks are coming in. Could I give a quick summary of the news for those who are not up to date? All right, so briefly, and I'm not going to talk about everything that's gone on, the leaks, the people behind. I'm not going to get inside baseball. First week of January, Wizards of the Coast releases a statement that would essentially invalidate the open gaming license, the OGL, that allows individual creators up to large companies to use what is considered open gaming content under the system reference document. So you can say things like armor class and hit point, magic user, magic missile, orc, ogre, that sort of thing. There's a whole list of things on the system reference document. They said, we are changing that. There will be license fees attached. We're doing this to protect our IP. People got up in arms and argued for weeks. And during those weeks, Wizards of the Coast was in total radio silence. They were not giving anyone answers. They stopped doing videos. They stopped communicating at all. Common cause was raised. People started canceling their D&D Beyond accounts. People started hammering Wizards of the Coast on social media. It got to the point that it was being talked about in the mainstream press. Wizards of the Coast then came back and said, okay, we made a boo-boo. Here's OGL 1.1 or 1.2 rather. And what we're going to do with OGL 1.2 is we're going to let you have some of those licenses back, but we're still going to introduce a new OGL, and here's a feedback form, and people fed back all right. Those of you who played electric guitar know all about feedback, and that's just exactly what Wizards of the Coast got. So what happened today was they announced the entirety of the system reference document goes under the protection of the Creative Commons, which is a third-party legally binding body that has no allegiance to any group that puts things under it. Think Linux. Think any free programs you've ever seen that says this is released under Creative Commons. Now, the core guts of product identity that is not specific to Wizards of the Coast. Like, they're not putting Greyhawk or Forgotten Realms or Mastika or Dark Sun or any of the terms that fall under those. You won't find Mordenkainen, Elminster, or any of that in the Creative Commons. But again, armor class, named spells like magic missile, but not Melf's acid arrow. You see where I'm coming from. All that put under the Creative Commons. They have said you can keep the OGL 1.08. We're not touching it. They have not changed the OGL 1.8's text to reflect that it is irrevocable. Some people are saying because all this stuff is now under Creative Commons, you don't need the OGL 1.8. I would still like to see the language of irrevocable thrown in there. So that's what's happened today. Essentially, Wizards of the Coast stepped back and said, okay, all right. You guys don't like OGL 1.2. You don't like that we are talking about nullifying OGL 1.08. We're not going to do that. And that's what they announced today. And I hope that answers the question. And I think that everyone who is saying, I don't trust this, I still think it's a trap. You're absolutely valid in feeling that way. Let me tell you, you are seen and you are valid, and I don't mean that in a mocking way. All right? You are seen and you are valid because of the damage they did to our trust. The absolutely weaselly language they used talking to us. And, I'm going to say this is a bigger blow up. This is a bigger blow up than what happened with the GSL when they released 4.0. They released the GSL, companies developing said, we're not going to do that. Paizo took 3 whatever under the OGL and went off and made Pathfinder, and a few other companies spun off, and they said, wow, that was bad, and then just dropped the idea of the GSL entirely. Nobody developed 4E products. No 4E products were released. Thank you for the super chat, Charles, I almost said the wrong person. Charles says, what would I think of a system that allows WotC to collaborate, consign creators on, or do works for them where they pay the creators but also take a bit of money for publishing creator content? I don't know how I'd feel about that. I would have to see some ironclad, you can take your stuff with you that we didn't explicitly do in our office language in such a deal like that. Mark says, I'm suspicious that this is a play to hopefully get folks to calm down, reduce the sheer amount of comms traffic about it all. And that, Mark, is a completely valid fear. Like I said, everybody recognizes your fears, and everybody knows that is something that we should be wary of. Look, Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Make your opponent think he has won a great victory. All right? That, you go get an MBA. Find me a professor where you're getting your MBA who doesn't tell you to read Sun Tzu's The Art of War and apply it to the decisions you make in business, and I will find you a school that is wasting every dime of your money. All right? That book is the gold standard for how to handle yourselves. All right. We need to not find ourselves where suddenly they're pulling an Operation Watch on the Rhine, which, if you guys are familiar with World War II history, from the Normandy landings until November of 1944, the Allied forces pushed the Germans all the way back into Germany, and we're on the German-Belgian border. And then they unleashed 15 divisions into the teeth of a weakened, complacent Allied army with the idea of driving a salient between the British Canadians and Americans and reaching Antwerp to seize that port because it was a major resupply port, and then force a separate peace in the West. And it was a bloody battle. So we need to make sure that there is no Operation Watch on the Rhine being brewed in the fog behind the enemy lines. All right. We need to stay vigilant. We need to write our targets down. So we've got to stay on this. You've got keep your eyes on social media. Watch what they're doing. Follow D&D and Beyond on Twitter. Keep a browser tab open. All right. And just refresh it. Just walk by and hit F5. Or do whatever you kids do on your mobile phones. But we cannot be complacent, and we cannot say everything's groovy, everything goes back to the way it was back in December. Because the same people who did this to us, are still in charge. They didn't quit today. They weren't fired today. Let's look at some inside baseball for just a second here. All right. Let's look at some inside baseball. Danny H, hello. One of the reports that I did, one of the videos I did, was about Motley Fool coming out and saying that Hasbro was kind of on the ropes. And Motley Fool was recommending Hasbro as a don't buy. Do you know how rare it is? Do you know how super rare it is for a company to recommend, to be recommended as a don't buy by Motley Fool? It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Not that often. But they did it to Hasbro right after Christmas. So that's one. Two, now, I know everybody out there who talks about 9 figures, 10 figures of money might think this is insignificant, but they don't just watch chunks of money. They watch trends. Just like I watch trends in my videos, they watch trends in their income. I've heard the number 40,000 bandied about with regard to D&D Beyond. That's money. That's executive salary bonuses. Okay? That's dividends. That's having to explain to people what the hell is going on. All right? And I don't care how big your company is. Unless you're the federal government, $400,000, $500,000, however many that 40,000 represented, that's a good chunk of change. And if they had continued extending this out into February, March, April, and folks like us, that's you too. That's you too. I'm not saying me, like me and my cabal of YouTube influencers. Folks like us kept the heat up and kept telling people, cancel your subscriptions, cancel your subscriptions, cancel your subscriptions. Don't sign up for the new one. Cancel your subscriptions. Stop buying stuff. If they look at that trend, yeah, they could tell which way the wind was blowing. Wow, 53 watching. I hope you guys are all in the chat. And Kenneth Safi points out correctly, they're trying to save their movie. Okay? Remember, boycott D&D movie trended. That people were talking about in THR and Variety. Now, they don't know a D20 from a hole in the ground, but they know box office. And this movie is being released in March. It's already not going to do good, guys. They're not releasing it in March to try and get a jump on April, and the April releases are there to try and get a jump on the summer movie blockbusters. They're releasing it in March because they know it ain't going to do great. And if it went in against, say, I think the new Deadpool's coming out in like April or May or something like that, that it would not do well. So there's all those factors. All of those factors combined And then the knockout punch. Did you guys see it today? Hasbro cutting 15% of its international workforce. Now that's only 1,000 people. But if they're having to tighten the belt, they needed to see those numbers come back up. There is no cabal. I spoke of no cabal, Fuchsia. So that's all of those factors piled in today. Now, I'm going to tell you guys a little story. I want to put this video up, but one of the first videos I ever did, if not the first video I ever did, with attorney Ty Beard was about when Wizards of the Coast almost completely screwed up the last series of Dragonlance books. Look, I was never a Dragonlance fan. I know people love Dragonlance, okay? Like, that's like the Lord of the Rings for a half generation younger than I am. I get it, okay? And Weiss and Hickman and, oh, thank you, Bill. Hasbro down 5.39 year to date, down 26.42 6 month, 8.11 today. Yeah. There it is, guys. There it is. Bill Trethway. I mean, it's right there in black and white. But all of this came down with Weiss and Hickman. And I promise you, the day those legal documents came out, someone at Hasbro was on the phone with someone at Wizards of the Coast who was on the phone with the HR to have that sensitivity reader shown the door, but also saying, make this go away. Make this go away. And it was fixed like that. I promise you, with what Bill just dropped in, and thank you for the super, Bill, and all the factors I just said, someone yesterday or the day before, because it takes a little bit to do it. Thank you, Fuchsia. Yesterday or the day before, someone said, make this go away. Do whatever you have to. We're hemorrhaging money. I don't care about dragons and dungeons. I don't care about elves on graph paper. I don't care about your Lord of the Harry Potters. Make it stop. My kids are showing me their Twitter feeds on their phones. I promise you that's what happened. I promise you that is what went on here. But the only reason they finally said, someone at Hasbro picked up a phone and said, if you don't make this stop, you're going to be looking for another job on Monday. Click. Is because of you. It's because of you. If we had sat in silence and mute horror watching this disaster unfold, but kept our mouths shut because we don't matter and we didn't win a thing, and we believed it, guess what? Guess what? OGL 2.0 would be here and there'd be nothing to stop it. And it would be just like TSR in the 1990s. You guys probably don't remember that. You don't remember TSR threatening to sue phone carriers because dial-up BBS rings in the late 80s and early 90s were trading people's homebrew campaign ideas. Going after universities because students had their homebrew ideas hosted on FTP websites, generously offering to make a central repository on the TSR servers where all your stuff would be put. And if they decided to take it from you and publish it, they could, and you'd get diddly over squat. I do. I remember it. But I'll tell you something, guys. You cannot let up on them. Go out on their Twitter feed right now and tell them you want OGL 1.0A and the word irrevocable placed in it. I don't care if it's a redundancy because most everything is now under the Creative Commons license. Good, then it shouldn't matter that you do it. Don't let go. Don't ease up. Don't relax your grip on their throats. Because if you do, we're going to be right back here next year or the year after, and they will have come up with a whole new spell list of dirty tricks. Don't you believe it? We did something. We, all of you, any YouTubers out there who've picked up on stuff that I've talked about, and God bless you all. Look, if you've got a small channel, a small project you're working on, and you've said something positive about this one, about the things that I say, let me know, please. I would love to hear from you. Because of you, we locked our arms at the elbows and we didn't let them break through. We played the most awesome game of Red Rover ever. And guys, it is all of us. Anyone who says it's not you, it's the corporate lawyers that did it. Let me tell you something. You ever watch a football game? You ever see the camera? Or if you were there, if you were lucky enough to be at one, down on the sideline? Do you see 22 guys? Just 22 guys in football uniforms just standing there? No. There's water boys. There's cheerleaders. There's team doctors. There's assistant coaches. There's offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, equipment managers. Hell, there's team photographers. PR people getting good, thoughtful profile images of the coach on the camera. And I wouldn't want to be in the shoes of a person who walked up to somebody in one of those support positions and said, hey, what do you mean you guys won the game? You didn't do anything. You just stood around. We're getting Pruitt back, Luther. Cal says money talks, everything else walks. That's right. And they heard us. I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into sports talk, Luther, but and tomorrow I can sit down at Yonder PC and I can start working again, knowing I'm not going to have to release an art book with some suspiciously RPG-like text in it. I can release an actual role-playing game product for you guys with art by Tracy Lesh. Pilgrim, thank you. Thank you so much. It was very good news. Very good news. Let's get that word irrevocable in there and make it the best news. Now let's jump to another analogy, because I've talked football, which I know a little bit about. Let's talk information systems, which I also know a little bit about. You guys ever heard of IBM, the computer company? Watch any remotely high-tech movie from the 70s or 80s or anything where they're going into so-and-so headquarters and they have all the banks of Christmas-like computers and reel-to-reel tape things go bzzzt, bzzzt, bzzzt. Those are all IBM computers. All of them. In fact, even in science fiction movies from the 50s and 60s, you're liable to see an IBM computer. When I worked in electronic finance in the 90s, we used an IBM S390, System 390. Banks of refrigerator-sized computers, all running MVS. Good old System 360, Mark Hoover, absolutely. Some of the later ones I think may still be supported, but guess what? You can't go buy a new IBM mainframe. They don't make them anymore. IBM is a software solutions company now, and they're still immensely powerful. IBM saw the writing on the wall. Oh, that's awesome, Pilgrim. I got in about 10 years after you quit. No, Damien, he doesn't, but he will from now on. IBM made the transition. And IBM makes solutions for Linux. They don't scream, they don't cry, they don't kick their feet, they don't threaten to sue people. They may threaten to sue people, I don't know. But they're still a titan in the computing industry. Why? Because you can buy a backplane and throw a bunch of general purpose GPUs in it, hanging on an x86 ARC, and run Linux. And boom, you've got a supercomputing cluster. IBM doesn't have to make them anymore. NVIDIA and Intel and AMD will do it for you. IBM doesn't have to bother with it anymore. Don't you think Wizards of the Coast would be better off realizing that they should give us Linux and not bother with the hardware anymore and just continuing developing for Linux? Because IBM made bank doing it. Dread Gazebo, that's just where I'm going. D&D needs to be the Linux of RPGs. Call up Linus Torvalds. I promise you, he's not doing too bad for himself. Core, have a lovely evening. You take care of yourself. Oh, they are doing hardware now. Okay, that's fine. They just despecialized. I gotcha. But you see what I'm saying. Pilgrim Media's out here just making it rain. $2. Thank you, Pilgrim Media. Through Linux Mint on a 2005 iMac. Yeah. I mean, you can have a lot of fun throwing various Linux builds on old hardware and just watching them scream. I mean, I know it's not Linux, but similarly, like if you've got a Core 2 quad, like a Q, what is it, Q 8900 or 9900, which is like a Core 2 quad CPU on a specific Intel motherboard and a GeForce 7300 video card and anywhere from 8 to 32 gigs of RAM. Guess what? You can install Mac OS on it. Tonka. The community stood up, licked our finger, and asserted their dominance on WotC. To make it official, we just need to take it to the second knuckle. He's talking about sticking a finger in their ear, folks, just in case. Don't at me, Susan, okay? Yeah, Hackintosh can be a pain in the keister. Like when they were still actively supporting x86, it'd be like, hey, I built a Hackintosh. Woohoo, that's awesome. It's only, $300. That's awesome. Great. We just issued a kernel patch. Your computer doesn't work anymore. Ah! But I mean, seriously, they just need to sit on the best IP in the country and produce stuff for it. Greyhawk, Forgotten Realms, Eberron, Dragonlance. And not worry about the engine. Let the engine go. Hell, Ford didn't try and patent the internal combustion engine. Copyright it. Heidi and Eric are at $59.90. Their Kickstarter fully funded. Which one of you folks right now, if you go spend $5, spend $1, maybe 10 of you spend $1 to back Heidi Gygax and Heidi Gygax and Eric Garland's 1E AD&D compatible module that they are kickstarting right now. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find the link here. This was awesome. Yes, link is coming. Go give them a surprise. Go back them. Back them for $10. 10 of you back them for $1. 5 of you back them for $2. 2 of you back them for $5. I'm gonna go look. And if one of you did this, but tell me so I can message them and tell them. Yeah, I backed it too. I wanted to back it on the show to watch it roll over, but my wallet was on the other side of the house, and I stupidly thought that Kickstarter took PayPal, but they don't. They do have bean counters and Slacktivist there. So I'm sorry if you logged on tonight and you were like expecting old school D&D talk, but guess what? Old school D&D talk is coming in the coming week. It's I'm working on stuff this weekend, so it's all going to be cool. But if you back it, you got to tell me, guys. Tell me that you backed it. It does feel good, Darth Eviction. It does feel very good to have that W. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to release some first edition AD&D stuff. So I may kickstart it. Do you guys want to buy brand new first edition AD&D modules written by yours truly? Like, would you back a Kickstarter if I started sending some modules out? Job control language. It's like the IBM engineers got together and said, what if we released a programming language that was as awful as humanly possible? And the guy raised his hand and said, but we already have COBOL. And he said, no, worse than that. Oh, my God. I will call you. I will call you, Volcano God. My prayers are with you. Everyone, please, if you would, Volcano God is a dear friend of mine. His dad is a Korean War veteran, 90 years old. Please, if we could get some prayers, some good vibrations, please pray for him. Let's send that up. Thank you. And Lord Cost just backed for $15, and they're now at 60-20. Thank you, Lord Cost. You are in our thoughts, Volcano. You're absolutely in our thoughts. Most certainly, and I will call you after the stream tonight. It will be in about 2.5 hours. Mark Hoover says, Dad was a Korea vet too. He's with you. Dread Gazebo, we're thinking you, Volcano God, war vet here, and my dad was in Vietnam. Squirrel Hermit, prayers up for Volcano God's father. Ash Carlos, sending all the luck. That's Ash. That's all we ask. That's all we ask is some positive thoughts. So let's see here. I'm gonna message Eric and I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna let them know that. I'm gonna do that on my phone real quick here. So let's go over to Face Space. The chat here just got y'all over the 6K stretch goal. All right, so there's a message to Heidi. So hopefully, they probably already saw that, but maybe Heidi and Eric will open champagne again on stream time. They're not going to be here tonight. I wish they could, Fuchsia, but gee, it's not like they're busy. They're trying to do this Kickstarter and plan an elopement and get ready for GaryCon and everything else. Cal says, my dad is 92 and served in Korea. Thank you, Father, for his service. Death Angels said they're in Kentucky. So I have to share this, and I don't know if this is true. So Eric's last name is Garland. He's from the Paducah area. I have a cousin. Well, I guess I should step back and say I have an uncle He's the stepfather of some cousins of mine. I have an uncle with the last name of Garland, who is also from Paducah. So it does make me wonder if they're related. And if that's true, I could be distantly related now to the Gygax clan by marriage. I claim no honoraria through that. I just thought it was kind of funny. I just thought that was kind of amusing that might be the case, but I don't think that will I don't think that will come to pass. So yeah. Death Angel said, I'm related to half a town near Paducah. Now, Eric said this last night. He said, my family tree looks like a wreath. So, oh my gosh. Well, we've got a little bit to go. Is that 101st Airborne there in Kentucky? I think that's where the 101st is. I'm not sure. Mark Morrison, I think that's a good, safe take. Now, that is the balance here that we have to strike. And it goes back to what I was saying at the beginning of this. Guys, obviously, nobody is going to fall into the assumption of, well, it's all over now. We got everything we wanted. We can totally turn our backs on these guys and they won't raise up on their elbow and shoot us as we're walking away towards the waiting helicopter. Danny H., thank you very much. Thoughts and prayers for Volcano's family. Absolutely. We're backing away slowly. We are backing away slowly and being very cautious about this. We're being very, very cautious about this. But at the same time, we can't be black-pilled, okay? We can't just go, well, we're still screwed and blah, 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 I completely understand people who are like, no, I'm done with Wizards of the Coast. I'm absolutely done with Wizards of the Coast, and I'm going to go play Pathfinder 2. I'm going to go play, Swords and Wizardry. I'm going to go play Old School Essentials. I get it. I completely get it. And as long as Wizards of the Coast are in charge, as long as this bunch is in charge anyway, there's no backing down. There's no, oh, okay, everything's fine. You guys are cool. Now, I don't want anyone to lose their jobs ever. But it's patently clear to me that Chris Cow, who said he doesn't have to play Dungeons and Dragons because he played computer games, Cynthia Williams, who by all accounts is not a gamer, I could be wrong about that they are seriously out of touch with what us tabletop people want. And not just a free ride and free lunches. When you are that out of touch, when you are that nearsighted and blind on the inside from a corporate standpoint, you need to change. And if you won't, maybe you need to go. Maybe you need to not be in charge of the hobby at that level. One of the things I remember Gary saying was that, you know, there's nobody at TSR who's a gamer. When he came back, he found people on the board who hadn't the faintest idea what Dungeons and Dragons was, other than a property owned by that company that made that company money. So that's, you know, that's where that's at. Maybe those people were better suited doing something else. I mean, they were probably all in their 40s, 30s and 40s back in the early 80s, so they would be in their 70s now and well past retired. But you know, I just wonder now if maybe some of them just kind of looking at this popping up, if they're even aware of it or care, and they're like, oh, okay, now I get it. No telling. There's no telling. No one named Williams should ever be in charge of Dungeons and Dragons ever again. I think we all feel that now. I think we all feel that. Look, just to keep it safe, but I want to like sell wood grain OD&D box sets and all the basics and AD&D and second. I want to put all that back in print. I know, and I'm sorry, but maybe you could change your last name to William or to Billiams or to Williams with a Z, because Williams ain't working. Pilgrim, I don't disagree. You'd like to hear what I think of Pathfinder coming to perspective? Okay, I'll tell you guys a capsule view of Pathfinder. 2 or 3 years ago, probably 3 years ago, 4 years ago, maybe, I played a brief 6-week, 5-week campaign of Pathfinder that a friend of a friend ran. We started off with extremely high-level characters, ridiculously high-level characters, and I said, I'm playing a bar. I went full 1982 adolescent. And I said, I'm playing a bard named Robert Plant. And they're like, haha, that's very funny. Okay, tell us about him. And I said, he's Robert Plant. That's his backstory. Robert Plant travels through time and space to be where he has been. And they were like, okay. So I played a bard. The first die roll that I made in that game was like a performance roll. And with all of my bonuses, because I took a lot, I made sure that that bard was built like maxed out charisma, everything. I rolled a 29. The highest roll you can roll is a 30, at which point gods will stop what they're doing and pay attention to you. And I said, my bard is in the inn and he is performing when the levee breaks. And the DM said, everyone is now convinced that the land will be inundated. They are crying out to you for help. And I had so much fun. I had so much fun goofing around with friends, eating chips, and playing Robert Plant. Look, when you're with friends and you're having fun, do the rules really matter? Do the rules really matter? And the answer is no. If you ask me to take a static vacuum view of Pathfinder, I don't like it. All right. I've seen people talking about Pathfinder, not while they're playing it. And it's like listening to berserkers talk, if you're familiar with Fred Saberhagen's Berserker novels. They just speak in this frightening language of mathematics. And so, from a mechanics standpoint, from a design standpoint, I don't like it. The one time I played it, the DM had a jukebox built into his Discord server where you could send a command to play a song. And I asked him, I said, is it going to irritate you if I play a Zeppelin song that matches up to what my character is doing? And he said, as long as it doesn't disrupt the game and it matches what your character is doing, no. And I said, fine. We were trapped in a barn. We were surrounded by evil elves. And I had a power to, with my voice, be able to blow open one of the walls and damage some of the elves. And so I dialed up Immigrant Song. I said, I walk up and then I hit play. That's just stupid fun. You know what? That's just stupid fun. And I had stupid fun. And I smiled until my face hurt. And I loved playing Robert the Bard. I remember one of the lines in that game was we had to disguise ourselves to infiltrate the elf high command. And there were elves in the party. I think most of the rest of the, like the dwarf decided he was going to stay behind for support with his heavy crossbow. And he said, well, we can all pass for elves, but as far as we know, Robert Plant isn't an elf. And I said, hey, let's not say things we know aren't true. And I just said, I just shake my hair and pull my cloak over. You guys have all seen the Robert Plant, he shakes his hair like that and his curls just kind of bounce out in slow motion. And they're like, they don't think you're anything other than an elf. Good night, Dread Gazebo. So that's just, but that can happen in any game. If we were playing a high level AD&D game and you said, I want to play a bard and he's Jimmy Page the bard, and you I'd be like, hell yeah, that sounds really cool. Do that. But that's rules agnostic, Well, you couldn't do it in Morkborg because Morkborg is an ugly game about ugly things, and there's no happiness, and it's like filthy, and you die from tetanus if there's a sword on the ground, I'll pick it up and use it. It slices off your fingers, you get rotted and die. That's Morkborg, and I don't want anything to do with it. Sorry if you like Morkborg, But anyway, my group is waiting in the green room. Are you guys done hearing me talk about Robert Plant, the Bard, and Pathfinder, and what else? The OGL. I'm going to lean over. I'm going to put these together weigh like as much as a car battery, so I'm going to set them on the table so the circulation of my leg does not get cut off. Oh, Bill, yes, I can do that. Can I? Okay, so we have a Discord. It's linked in the chat. You guys can follow the link. It should work. Bill Trethway is looking for his game of Conflict. He's looking for players to play Conflict, which is my co-host Kyle Schuant's role-playing game. You guys can check that out. Let me see if I can find this. If you want to check out the game's rules, here are the rules. You can go pick them up on drive-thru. We're gonna play Gamma World, Christopher. We're gonna play Gamma World in a minute. You can go check that out. One more shout out. Bill's looking for players. So if you're on our Discord and you want to play Conflict, check out the rules and then hit him up to do some Conflict play. He has all the deets. I don't. So talk to Bill. Speaking of shout outs, I want to give one more shout out and then we're going to play. Then we are going to play Gamma World. I released an article today. I released a video today, I should say. I released a video today about how PC Gamer basically did a black pill piece on fighting Wizards of the Coast and how it was useless and not worth doing. And they also slagged D&D's past, a very problematic past. And I called him out in a video. Right after I did that video, I came over to this PC to do the title card for it. And Chris Abbott had emailed me the details of WotC backing off. So thank you, Chris Abbott, for the scoop. Thank you, Connect, for the PC Gamer nonsense. Jimmy Invictus. Dagother welcomes you, my sweet persistent friend. Did you bring the Fault Sunder? So naive. Shame on you. Naravar, friend or traitor, come to me where fire and war meet. Dennis, hello. Good to see you. So big shout out to all those people. And thank you very much. Now, who's ready to play some Gamma World? Who wants to play some Gamma World? And who wants to see me sit here and try and figure things that are fun to talk about? I'm a god. Such a divine and intoxicating innocence. You come unprepared, Naravar. Return when you have Wraithguard. Gamma World. Gamma World. We're going to play Gamma World. They're PMing me in the back room. Shut up! Shut up! For God's sake, play the game! All right, let me get my phones on. My awesome. I'm going to buy another set of these, by the way. I'm going to get another set of these AKG phones. This is not sponsored, by the way. I just love these headphones. And I keep using these examples, but like, the base is like melted chocolate. It's like immersing your ears in warm chocolate. I love it. The mid-range is just analogy fails me. And the high end is like listening to songbirds in the best way. So naive, Jimmy Invictus. Shame on you. If you send me a quality Dagother mask, I will wear it for a show. Kenny, co-producer, is not. She will probably wander into the studio area here in just a few. But I would love to have a set of these over on the editing PC to listen to music while I do stuff. Death Angels back to Kickstarter. Come to me through fire and war, Naravar. Okay. Pogo ran away. All right. So without further ado, let us welcome Do Re Mi, played by Kevin for the time being.
Hello. Hello.
Our one and only Doomsword Deathmaster as Numbers Rab.
What's up?
The delightful, she's delightful, she's delovely, She's Sapphire as 4077, your winged heroine.
Hello, all.
And of course, well, really, analogy and expletive fails me. Tunkatod as Bogo Jorts.
The adorable Bogo Jorts, the adorable. I've just
Bogo
given
Jorts.
myself a title.
The Bogo Jorts, the adorable. Real quick, these are the last two things off topic. Jimmy, we now have a drivable car. Fuchsia, thank you for the super. It just says BOGO, buy one, get one. We only want one. Fuchsia, these are AKG headphones. I can, if you ping me on the live chat, I will tell you the exact model. But they are made by AKG, and these are pro studio headphones, and they will only set you back like $60, which for a set of pro. And I'm not just making that up. I'm not just trying to justify my purchase. These are actually. It has been explained to me that these are professional use headphones by professional musicians. They're like, yes, we use those. They are not open back. They have openings in them, but they are not completely open back, Dr. Octagon. So, when last we left the group, you were in the ruins of Atlanta. So, why don't you give a quick summary of what your characters are doing, please? We'll start with 4077. You're on the spot.
You're going to make me remember, huh?
You're darn right I'm going to make you remember. I've been carrying a lot of water this week.
No, that's fine. So, we are in basically looking for more fuel along the way and looking for med kits. We came across a building and encountered a little bit of resistance. We disabled them, tried to question them, found them useless, and disposed of them so that they would not cause us additional issues later on. And that's kind of where we left off.
Alrighty. Anything to add, Kevin?
No, I think that's a pretty accurate assessment of our terrible situation.
It's Gamma World. Every situation is a terrible situation. Sort as numbers rab. Anything to throw in?
Yeah, no, other than I think we were, I think the basic idea was we were exploring around and looking for items of use, including, pharmaceutical items and fuel and vehicles to salvage from and that sort of thing.
Alrighty, and I'm going to regret this. Anything for Bogo Jorts to add to the conversation?
The only thing that was a travesty I say, was Bogo had clearly asserted his dominance on the elephant one, and the elephant guy still got shot. That's the travesty I say.
Got to climb the rail.
The elephant was repugnant and earned his death.
Sure did.
I just wanted more information, but he didn't have it, so.
Yes.
I blasted him in the face.
Yeah, I was going to say, you did find out what was on his mind because his mind was very quickly spread out across the floor of the office.
You see that head come apart?
All right, so you searched this building a bit. You think you're on the top floor. You found a few odds and ends. You did not find any med kits or medical supplies at all here.
And then we were heading to the basement.
You were heading to the basement. That's right. So You go back downstairs. The rapidly cooling bodies of the humanoid mutant types on the stairway there around you. Jimmy Invictus wants to know when 4077 sprouted wings. I think that was 4 sessions ago. 5?
Something like that. It was right outside the police station.
Yes.
Yeah, she wrapped herself up in a cocoon and came out a beautiful butterfly.
More like she
There
was
was no cocoons.
and her nanotechnological system said, make wings. But anyway, so going downstairs,
We have the huge spotlight so we can light it up.
that's right. That's right. So you're back down on the lower floor now, where you came in. There is the far wall to the left that has the 2 metal doors, one of which is slightly ajar, the other is closed. And to the left of each is a panel of recessed clear buttons. You don't immediately see an entrance to the basement, but then you haven't really searched around on the first floor that much.
Well, let's search the first floor before we go all the way down then. We might find a stairwell or something like that that leads into the basement that we didn't know about.
All right, so you putter around on the first floor for a while, and it's anything that would have been of any use has long ago been looted from here. You see the occasional bone, whether it's human, mutant, or animal, you're not sure, but in the overall, this has been stripped pretty bare. In one room, off in the far corner, this room is literally just bare cement walls. There's no window. There is what appears to be a staircase that leads downward.
Score. Let's check it out.
I'll reluctantly follow.
Okay.
So that means 4077 is taking point.
Sure, I got the big old light. I got my needler out. I'm good.
All right, I'll flank on the left side with my laser rifle ready.
Alrighty. And no, I did not just kick our resident Bogo off. There's a there is a internet issue constantly in his neighborhood. So he'll be back.
He had to change his jorts. I think he sharded.
It's those
Okay.
little legs.
So who has the light source, please? And I know that Numbers has IR goggles. So
Yeah, and being that I'm in the light source, I was going to mention that, I'm obviously just going to pull those up and sit them on top of my head like a pair of sunglasses, assuming I can do that.
yes, you can.
Okay. Don't want IR in full light.
I figure I've got the light source in one hand and my needler in the other.
Okay. The stairs just go straight down. Yes, we did win, Thrifty Steve. And you can see the light about 2/3. Well, you don't really know how far down it is, but you can see the light is reflecting off of water.
Ooh.
There's water in the basement.
Do we even want to bother then?
Well, we can check it out. I wonder if there's any sort of anything electrical down in there. We obviously don't
anything
want to
that's gonna
step
be-
into a zap.
Well, not just that, but anything that's down there probably is not going to be worthwhile because it's going to be wet. So it's going
Yeah,
to
well,
rust
what about
or
the stuff?
whatever.
What about the stuff above the water line? Lockers, that sort of thing.
I
How deep
suppose.
is the water?
We don't know yet. We're
Can
not
we
down
look
there.
and see how far up the wall the water goes?
I mean, if you have the light source pointed in that direction, you can.
I can move the light source to see if there's like the water was higher and it's receded over time or something.
It looks like, yeah, maybe it was a little discolored. There's kind of a line of greenish scum that's about half a meter above the current level of the water. And the current level of the water seems, you think, is about a meter.
I look back to make sure Bogo's still with us and not that half a meter scum.
Hey, we should get that pole that is up there and see how far it goes down. We can measure it. And it's wood, so it won't cause any problems if it does have a current going through it.
It is not wood.
Oh,
What is it? Is it plexiglass?
No, it's metal.
Oh, damn.
The entire thing was made out of metal. And it's got kind of wrapping at the handle end of it, so it may be that the handle is non-conductive if there's electricity down there.
No, I mean, is there any other loose metal stuff that I could just throw in there to see what happens?
Yeah, there's junk all over
Okay.
the place.
I'll grab a chunk of junk metal and just toss it in the pool and wait for the tentacles.
I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going. All right, so you toss the water in, and there's a splash.
is there any movement or that besides the
man in
the
a gray
splash?
hat and robe says, "Fool of a took, throw yourself in next time."
I mean, if there's something alive down there, we disturb the water, so it should perk its interest.
Okay, so this is going to sound like a crazy plan.
Always does.
And that's different than the usual.
Right. But this what if I mean you've got a walking living bait with you, Bogo. We tie some rope around him, we dwarf chunk him in the water, swim down a little bit. If he gets in trouble, I'll pull on the rope twice, y'all pull me out.
Bogo?
Boat.
That sounds like an excellent plan.
Now see, I knew numbers that had my back.
I got your back. I'll hold the rope.
I'll shine the light and I got the needler out, so if you want to do it, go for it. I know there's not enough room for me to fly over the water, so...
So do we have a rope?
I don't have a rope.
Let's see. Do I have a rope?
Did we see any wire or anything upstairs?
Fishing line?
Ground wire? Something? I don't know. Anything.
No, you didn't really see anything like that.
Yeah.
I think the rope was just part of the plan. You want me to toss you, Bogo?
Is there rope to pull me out?
Yeah, you could probably swim back, right?
Can he swim?
I'll start miming like I'm pulling a rope Exactly.
Attach a couple vibro blades on them like it's hooks.
There
Had
you
I
go.
known we had invisible rope, well,
There you are. What's the problem?
It's the best kind.
Doesn't get tangled ever.
Just yell out, and I'll toss some tear gas in there.
With friends like this, who needs enemies? Oh, we could take some of my spare clothes, rip them up, and tie them together and make a rope.
that might work.
It's going to be an awful short rope.
Well, we're talking BOGO size, so it doesn't have to go very far.
We could
So,
have a
but-
BOGO yo-yo.
Bogo's just going to walk over and just jump in the water.
Sploosh. Okay, Bogo, you jump in the water. What is Bogo's constitution, please?
It is just enough to jump in the water. Just take my word for that. Constitution 14.
14. Okay, let's see here.
It's enough to jump in the water.
And it was 14.
Yeah.
Okay. Almost immediate. Well, first of all, you note that the water is very warm, like warmer than you think it should be, given that it's not exposed to the sun at all. And you take 8 points of radiation damage.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Oh, they totally Fukushima'd this place.
I assume you cry out in something.
Well, I'm underwater, so I won't be crying anything.
Oh, you just sing.
He's
Well,
very muscular.
Can you not
Yeah.
swim?
Well, I don't know.
Bogo can. It's like D&D. Everything. It's, you know.
It's like D&D except radiation.
Somebody, when he surfaced,
No microtransactions.
somebody grab the scruff of his neck and pull him out.
Who's grabbing the scruff of his neck, please?
I've got the light and a needler.
Does
Somebody
he
else
have
has
a
got to do
scruff?
it.
I got a
Somebody else
laser
has gotta
rifle.
do
It
it.
takes 2 hands.
And I'm the one that doesn't have any mutations as of yet, I guess. Yet, yeah. Well,
Hey, you
it'll help
might
me
get
fit
wings
in.
too. You never know.
It might make me fit in, and then the elephant guy wouldn't hate me so much. I'm gonna walk up and I'm gonna try to grab him out of there. Can I see him?
Yeah,
How
he-
far did he jump?
Around. Hurts it does. Boiling my hand.
Tastes like burning.
Falling off my fingers.
It'll
Alright.
only hurt for a while. So
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to grab him by whatever's above the water, hoping that it's not upside down.
Bogo,
Pull it out.
All right.
Bogo swimming with just one ear sticking out like a shark fin.
Okay.
It's a baby shark.
insert your
Don't do it.
dominance.
I'll boot you from the game. I will poochie you back to your home world. Don't do it. All right. You plunge your hands in, you pick him up, you pull him out. Because again, he was just swimming around with one ear sticking up. What is your constitution?
Well, it was 13.
13.
Was.
I don't see system shock roll next to Constitution, so I guess I'm probably okay.
You reach in and grab him, and Bogo, you whatever you do, you do it when you pull him out. Bogo has little blisters raised on his exposed carapace and whatnot. And you feel pretty irpy too, Bogo. I should point that out.
Yeah, you probably swallowed some of that stuff, whatever it is.
God, my mouth.
Could you define irpy?
Upset tummy.
It just basically means that the
need
needs
Pepto.
of
Pepto-Bismol.
the needs of the few outweigh the needs of the one.
Here,
That's
buddy,
what
I
it
got
means.
some cod liver oil. It's as close to Pepto-Bismol as I can find. Okay, so
we're leaving that water alone. Let's get out of here. There's nothing here.
well, there's something there because it's radiated for a reason, but I don't know if it's important enough to find out what it actually is.
A dud warhead with a split open case was dragged. Hope y'all like plutonium.
This is cobalt. Come on. Yeah, I'm gonna after I pull him out, I'm gonna back up the stairs.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
So
out
when
of
we
here
get
too.
up in a safer place, I kind of give Bogo a quick glance over, doing my medical thing.
Yeah, Bogo, despite the fact that you're drying yourself off, and this actually, Do Re Mi, you do too. You guys are both showing signs of ARS. You have a metallic taste in your mouth. You don't have the tan, so there's that. But yeah, you have some of the symptoms. Nausea.
Awesome. Anybody have any betadine?
If we can find some clean water, maybe that'll help a little bit.
Yeah.
Vitamin
Hey,
E
if
and
there's
I.
a kitchen, if there's a kitchen, we can make you swallow some baking soda. That might help you a little bit.
Yeah.
Here, eat some 190-year-old baking soda. You'll feel better.
Hey, it's
You know
baking
that stuff's
soda.
hard
Does
as a
it really
rock.
go bad? Does baking
Yes,
soda
but it's
go
hard
It
as
bad?
a
does
rock.
matter, right? It absorbs everything that's around it.
Baking soda, just like Mom used to make.
Exactly. Damn straight. Right off the brick.
Hey, this is Gamma World. We can take what we
Baking
had.
soda and bricks.
Yeah, well,
Sounds like a party.
we had our first dose of Gamma World. Well, at least I did. I'm going to swish my mouth out. I know it ain't going to make a damn bit of difference, but maybe it does. I don't know. With, what do I got? Mental illness. Okay, that ain't going to help. So, yeah, I guess I'm gonna look around and see if I can find some kind of liquid. Maybe there's joke cola somewhere. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, the vending machine back around the corner, and we could break into
Oh,
it.
Coca-Cola. Yeah, there's assuming you guys have water and supplies, that sort of thing. You can rinse your mouth out with that, but you don't. No, you don't.
I need a
Have it.
real shower.
Yeah.
Just watch Pogo grows in size. That's his mutation.
6 feet
But only when he's angry.
He's already green.
Yeah. Okay, well that was fun. I was kind of annoyed by us looking for pharmaceuticals earlier, but I've kind of had a change of heart, and maybe
When
we
it
need
kind of
to
hits home.
maybe we need to search a little more diligently. Yes?
Sure.
Definitely.
Okay. Awesome.
Well, when I scouted in the sky, I saw a building in the distance that had the universal cross symbol. So that's kind of where we were heading. I don't remember if it was... Well,
I thought it was
technically,
this one.
In character, I would remember the direction of it and if it's along the path of our getting back to the vehicle or not.
It's kind of in that direction. It's like the vehicle is a little off to the left, but the medical symbol on the building is beyond that. So you would be on your way to where your vehicle is.
Okay, so we get the vehicle and then we move on to get our medications and such.
You
At
can
least
do
that
that.
would be the hope.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Well, let's keep going. I mean, we got fuel for it, so we should be able to make at least that building and be on the lookout for more if we don't find anything quickly on the way to it. What time of day is it at this point?
At this point, it's afternoon. Everything's washed in a thin orange haze.
So we don't want to dilly-dally too long because we don't want to be caught out in the open with whatever wildlife comes out at night here. So we may want to just, when we get back to the vehicle, bunker down because that is in a building in a secure, as far as we could tell, location. So that probably would be our safest bet. And then start out the next day driving on the way to the
I'm
hospital.
good with that.
Well, just remember, if any beast comes up, animals love me.
Even
They
bumpy,
love the taste of it.
blistery little dolly bug creature thing you are.
If that bug would have had ears, he'd have been mine.
Mm.
Yeah, this surprisingly reminds me of my current work situation of building the airlift helicopter on the way to the hospital. So I think that sounds like a great idea. Let's just do that, or
So we're gonna continue heading back and just kind of looking along the way to see if there's anything that really catches our attention as a likely source of quick medication type kit things, or preferably more vehicle fuel.
Okay.
At this point, I've turned the spotlight off, obviously, to save battery and such. So
Okay. Yeah, so again, it's a little later in the afternoon when you arrive at your vehicle, and nothing untowards happens. You don't encounter any madmen of the ruins. You may put your fuel in and continue along your merry way as you like.
I think we're gonna stay the night here, just in
Okay.
a secure building. And we'll set up a watch and all that kind of thing too, to be on the safe side.
Alrighty.
The building locked up.
Bogo's complaining his tummy hurts.
Well, let's explore our building and see if there's like a facilities or something like that. There's got to be a bathroom here somewhere. You can maybe get a sink to rinse yourselves off or something.
I mean, there are basins and that sort of thing, and little private rooms, but there hasn't been running water for a couple of minutes.
water's overrated anyway.
Let's trace it down to see if there's water in the water heater yet.
Yeah.
It might
No.
have a small supply of it. Let it out the
Remember,
bottom.
when the apocalypse happened, it was still far in the future of our current future, so there are no giant water heaters that may have had water heater. They all had the instant, you turn the...
Oh, fine. No old technology. It's
No
all
old the old antique stuff is still like 75 years ahead of where we are today in this world. So
okay.
So yeah, unfortunately not. You're just gonna have to, gently brush away the radioactive salts that are now drying on your skin.
Awesome.
With the pieces of skin that come
Can we
along
get to
with
the
it.
roof? Can we get to the roof? There might be pockets of water sitting on the roof from rain.
You're welcome to look up there. I mean, you're the one that can fly.
All right, I'll look up.
Yes, there is a large puddle up there, but it is. I mean, it's probably only a centimeter or two deep, but it appears to be rainwater of some kind there.
Well, I mean, we can
I'll
at
fly
least.
down and I'll get Borgo Jorts and he can roll in it.
I'm sorry, what were you saying, Kevin?
Well, I mean, at the least we could rub it on our, softer tissues, ears, nose. I don't know. I don't know how this stuff works. So, wash your hands and face, I guess. Throat, neck, nostrils.
All right, that's entirely up to you guys. If you wish to do that, you may do so.
Well, I definitely want to do that. I don't know if it'll help, but it's that or start eating the gypsum out of the walls.
Bogo will take a hobo bath in the little puddle.
All right.
I'll find like a bowl or something so I can take some down.
Yeah, you can easily find just a container or something to. I mean, basically by putting it in there and just kind of scooping it up, you're able to get a good couple of gallons without any effort, any serious effort.
So I'll bring the water down for Doré.
Okay.
And then I'll take Bogo up so he can roll in his little Bogo-sized pool.
All right, so you're able to get cleaned up and cleaned off, and away you go.
Nice. Thank you. That's appreciated.
Yep. So I'll bring Bogo back down, and I think at this point we should kind of lock up for the night and get some food and set up a watch and kind of camp out for the night. And then
All right.
first flight, we should start out.
Mark a day's rations off because you do have to eat. And I think you guys had taken like a week's rations with you, so you're down to about 3 or 4 days. Just letting you know. Rest of the evening passes. Nothing happens notable on anyone's watch.
Okay.
So is this
We got,
vehicle ready to go at this point?
Yeah, if you put some fuel in it.
Oh, we would have done that yesterday while we were sitting around.
All right.
Well, we'll do it today if we didn't do it yesterday.
Yeah. I didn't mention it. It was what I was going to do, but I just let people talk. I'll get fuel in there, go over the vehicle, make sure it looks like it's ready to roll, and decide who's driving.
Now, Numbers Rab has driven a jet turbine car before, so he does not have to make a roll for.
I think we kind of already decided, didn't we? Numbers was going to drive. I'm shotgun because of my wings. Bogo's in the back, and so is Doremi because it's a small back seat.
Yeah.
Even a Corvette has a back seat. That's,
Awesome. This isn't a convertible where the back seat's taken up by the damn top, right? That happens to be forced down. So I'm like,
no, it is
awesome. Okay, so there is at least enough space for me to be my own person, not be a merger. Okay,
right.
Well, when you're back there with Bogo, he doesn't take much room, so you almost have a whole seat.
The right-hand side of the seat.
Watch your left ear.
Yeah.
Stop. You must get off my side. You will.
If it's got one of those decks in the back, just throw them up there.
No, it isn't.
Play your cards right, and I'll cuddle up in your lap and go to sleep.
Bogo shouldn't sleep ever, I don't think. To be honest.
You got yourself a lap beetle.
This is going to be much like, parties in high school and early college if he goes to sleep. So, you might. I'm going to start looking for markers, by the way, just in case.
Preferably permanent.
Yes, of course. Sharpie is the. Okay, well, yeah, I'm going to sit and I'm going to be a passenger for a little while, I guess. I'll have my slug thrower out just in case I need to shoot somebody in the front seat.
I got the needler out, but it's for the window.
Okay. Well,
We're gonna
here's
take the empty gas can and put it in the trunk, and these two stupid TVs we still have to carry around with us and our extra gear.
That's fine. So you're not exactly going to be putting the hammer down because Lanta is still, despite the scavenging, despite the looting and all the intervening years between the war and now, it's still pretty rubble and ruin-choked streets. In fact, there are places where you're like, well, I realize we've come a half a kilometer, but we got to turn around and go back and find another route. So let's see here.
Overnight, do I recover some hit points?
Yes, you all regain a couple of hit points each because you had kind of a comfortable place, in the car. And these are future cars; they're designed to be comfortable. TJ asked, "Did they hit rush hour traffic?" It's Atlanta. Even after a nuclear apocalypse, there's rush hour traffic in Atlanta. So you spend a while meandering around the city. Sometimes numbers, you're just able to put the hammer down. You gotta weave a little bit, but then there's other times when it's like driving at 2 miles an hour. Driving at 6 kilometers an hour. In the grim darkness of the future, we only use the communist measurement system. Freedom units were all destroyed by the apocalypse. Sorry. But as you are meandering along through the great metal and stone canyons. Not caverns, canyons. I suppose they could be caverns.
I'm turning the radio on. Let's see if there's anything on here.
All right, roll a d10.
Okay.
You're reaching up to poke the controls. Roll a d10. This is going to be hilarious. Catastrophic failure. She causes the car to crash.
And that is a 9.
Okay, numbers. 4077 reaches over and takes a jab at the control console. It changes one of the instrumentation readings from like fuel remaining, range before refuel required, to like ambient temperature.
All right, I'm gonna hit the gas.
Okay, you're speeding up. Let's see. I will present. Yes, you are fortunate enough to be in an open area where you can do that. So yeah, when you take your finger off the display 4077, it goes back to the fuel remaining distance remaining reading. Do you want to try again?
I'm gonna hit the brake. Not too hard.
All right. While he's hitting the brake, I'll press the button again.
Roll a d10.
That is a 3.
A 3. Okay. It changes permanently, and there's a list of different words. One of them says entertainment system.
That's the one I want?
Is it?
What do you think, guys?
I think you should never touch a Wasteland Warriors radio.
Oh, you didn't name this ahead of time. Good to know.
Yeah,
What are
I
the other
just change
options?
things up as I feel.
What's the other option? Because you said it's a whole menu. What's the rest of the menu?
Yeah, there's like check tire pressure, check fuel remaining, just all these different diagnostic things. You're not sure what some of the word combinations mean. Your technology, but you don't understand this technology.
Do I remember how I got to this menu?
Yeah,
So I could get back to it again if I wanted to?
you could try, sure.
All right. I'm pressing the gas level because that's what we were on before. That's kind of important. We can
Okay,
amuse ourselves as we're going.
roll a d10.
That's a 4.
Okay, you are back to systems and fuel.
Okay. See, there. All good. Keep
All
going.
right. You guys didn't even get a chance to hear my rendition of Ramblin' Man by the Allman Brothers. Oh, well.
You know, I was going to sing that one as well. Sadly, as that is.
Yeah. Bogo do it for a super chat.
Bogo in the back seat starts singing Baby Shark, but instead of saying Baby Shark, he's saying Bogo Jorts.
George.
Oh, man.
Okay. All right,
Now
so
you're stuck with it for a while.
You know, it's sad when you'd prefer to be rickrolled.
Yeah, I prefer to toss him out of the vehicle. I don't know what you mean by this rickroll stuff, but you know, I'm getting tired of this.
Logo, would you like your own stateroom in the car? Your own private quarters?
Yeah, it's called the trunk.
Hey, we got a towel. We can make his own little quarters back there.
We got some cloth or something. Strap him to the roof.
You guys open the trunk later. He's made a bed out of the towel, has the 2 TVs set up.
My spare
Hasn't
clothes.
suffocated.
Oh my god.
He's wearing a little smoking jacket.
No, one of my skirts. You make it into a dress.
All right.
So we're going to the hospital, right? Or what we thought was a hospital?
What do you think may be an ancient medical center? Yes.
Okay. We're gonna find out it's a green cross and not the red cross, right? This is the way that my day's going.
Mine too.
I'm kind of worried to ask what a green cross would be.
Oh, you haven't been to Colorado, apparently.
No.
It's the #1 imagery in every location and every place. So.
Oh,
That's where they keep the good medicine.
Okay. Numbers. As you're driving, give me give me an intelligence roll, please.
I rolled a 4. My intelligence is 14.
Observing you as you drive along, they don't appear to be making any hostile action. A few stories up in a building, kind of watching you out of a hole. It's not even really a window. You observe what appear to be at first glance some pure strain humans.
All right, can I pull up, being that there are a few stories up, do I think that I can pull up to the side of the building close enough that they won't be able to see me given their vantage point? Or does it look like they can look straight down? Regardless, I'm going to slow down.
Okay.
Look up
They're
fast.
situated in such a way that, yes, you can get close enough to the building that they would have to strain and look out, but you're pretty sure they saw you. Like, as you were going by, their heads were kind of moving in the direction that you were moving. But
Right.
They didn't raise any projectors. They didn't, they didn't don power armor and leap down and start beating on your car or anything. So
I have
All
the
right.
window slightly
Hey, we got
cracked, and
company.
I got the window slightly cracked, and I got my needler just sticking out. Oh, so like a Mad Max kind of cannon effect there going.
Bogo's going to hang out the window and wave real big.
all right. And what about
Get your
number?
ass back in the vehicle, Bogart.
I'm gonna stay inside the vehicle until
I'm gonna
it's
pull
time
up
to
close.
get out.
Well, I'm in the vehicle. I just got the barrel of it out there.
All right, listen, I'm going to pull up close and drive around the perimeter slowly until we see an entrance.
Why are we taking these people on? We're going to the hospital. We need.
I didn't say anything
medical
about
stuff.
taking them on. Maybe they know where supplies are. Being that they're pure strain human, they're a whole lot more
Friendly
trustworthy
than
in my
mutants,
mind than
gods.
half of present company.
Oh, nice.
And if it comes to blows, I'll just assert my dominance.
For the most part, those of us without mutations are capable of intelligent discourse, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, Bobo, you've had the most miraculous plans since I've been with you.
Now, sometimes they might be cannibals. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you.
Oh, how cheery. Okay.
So I get my slug thrower ready just in case.
Well,
If
you
I
have a
kind of drive
vibroblade,
slowly
too.
around the perimeter, does there appear to be an entrance?
Oh, yes, there are many.
All right. Does one of them look like a main entrance, like a double door or something like that, or are they just random?
You think there's something like that?
Yeah, I'd like to stop the car there and converse with my companions.
Okay.
Is the door
All
made
right,
of
we haven't
glass?
seen
Can we
anybody
see?
like these around here.
Can we see through the door?
The door is whole. There is no glass. There is no door. It is an entryway.
What do you say we go in?
Let's go. Not
Somebody's
to be,
got to stay with the car. Should I stay with the car? I'm obviously not a pure strain anymore.
We don't know how to disable it, right?
That
At
was
least
gonna
where
be
we
my
can
question.
re-enable it. Yeah. Okay.
Right. There's not like a key or something like that, right, that we carry along with us that allows one to start the ignition or anything.
Yeah, there's actually. I'm patterning this after the coolest in-car ignition system I've ever seen. It's a Bluetooth fob. You can just throw it in the glove compartment and hit the start button. So you got something like that.
And if you're too far away from it, it won't work.
Exactly.
All right. Yeah. We'll pocket that, and then I suppose I'm going to get out of the vehicle.
Yep. Not to be creating a pun here, but it's kind of time is burning up.
And your skin too, huh?
Yeah, right. That's what I was talking about. Yeah, that was the joke.
It's itchy. And
All right, what do we want to do here?
It doesn't help. It doesn't help that these people are dragging ass.
Yeah.
They're-
Just remember that one of the side effects.
I was trying to get there, but somebody wanted to talk to these humans.
Yeah, one of the side effects is explosive, if you know what I mean. So,
As long as you do your business outside the vehicle, we'll be all right.
He's mooning as we're going by. Talk about toxic.
How far do we think we're away from that hospital?
You have not started to experience that effect yet.
okay, that's awesome.
But thank you for reminding me that it does that. I do appreciate it.
It's all coming up Millhouse.
Just to let you know, when the urge hits Bogo, he's hanging it out the window, and we're repainting the car.
All right. This is the quality entertainment that 3,809 of you have subscribed for and donated and super chatted and yeah. This is
Projectile.
Still better than the OGL stuff.
well spent. Hope you
Yeah.
feel like getting your dollar's worth out of this. I'm almost sad that the evening game is an ending on that note. Okay, so
And diarrhea of a madman.
terrible. Get out.
Oh,
It wasn't me, it was that other guy.
well, we kind of
Frodo.
vomit too, don't we?
Frodo Jorts, yeah, that guy.
We'll blame it on Joe. He jumped in.
Well, I mean, let's talk to these people. Maybe they have something. I don't know. Anything's better than what's
Yeah.
going on right now.
Yeah, indeed. How far did it appear that we're away from that hospital? Do we know?
At this point, no. I mean, you'd have to you'd have to try and relocate it by site.
Right. Well, I'm good for whatever. I think we need to talk to these guys. I mean,
Well, after we
a couple
talk
of
to
us
him,
can
I
go up there, and you guys can go a little farther if you want, or maybe we should just make haste.
I'll get out and try to help.
Bogo will walk with you to talk to these humans.
Well, if the car's secure, I'll go with you too.
All right, I guess I'll take point on this one.
So do we have the lock thing that we can like do beep beep?
Yeah,
So we have the alarm, so we'll know if someone's messing with it.
probably.
All right, we'll lock the vehicle with that mechanism and proceed through the open doorway. I suppose I'll go first. I will put on IR goggles.
I'll kind
Okay,
of stand in the back and kind of hide my wings a little bit.
It's a little dark in the building. You know,
I'll
there
hand the flashlight to him if he needs it.
pools of shadow here and again. There is a large balustrade in the middle with stairs that kind of wind upwards to a mezzanine. Whatever this building was, it was clearly something fairly fancy and complex looking. You can clearly see also that there is a group of they look like pure strain humans. They are armed with crossbows and spears, and they have crossbows leveled at you. And one of them says, "Hail, travelers!"
Hail.
What brings you to this place? Greetings.
Well, I noticed that I was observed, so I decided to stop. I recognized some potentially friendly faces.
Yes. Well, we heard your vehicle here in deep within the ruins. The chariots of the ancients are few that still operate, and the sound of it drawing near attracted the attention of our sentries.
Your sentries, eh? What is this place, if you don't mind my asking?
We do not know what purpose this served in the ancient times, but our tribe is passing through here, and we have temporarily taken up shelter herein.
Well, I can tell you first off that we mean no harm. We're doing the same. Our tribe might be a little smaller than yours, but some of us are sick at the moment, and we're looking for help.
Yes, this is unfortunate. Many illnesses can befall the unwary, although given your devices and your garments, I do not think you unwary.
We normally are. Sometimes one or two of us might do something that wasn't the best plan in the world, a little bit ill-advised, you know. And I think there's a little bit of rad poisoning going on.
Ah, yes, you have come too close to the glow.
The glow, eh?
You are not you are not so afflicted that you yourself emit the glow, are you?
No. Fortunately not.
Bogo gets excited with the thought of him possibly being able to glow, and he starts looking for a dark room.
What brought that about? Do you know?
Guard of the guardsman of the watch. If you would like to approach, and please, I must ask you to keep your hands against your ancient projectors. Or keep your hands away from your ancient projectors.
Absolutely. I only have a few. No worries there.
Of course.
Do you have a medical area here? I myself am a medical person.
We have those who are not without skill in healing those who are sick. Cuts, scrapes, stab injuries, even burns from projectors such as these, we can treat with a greater or lesser degree of efficiency.
Does it? I mean, obviously, to me personally, right now, it seems like these guys are friendly enough. Is there anything any of us might gather about a bad vibe coming off of them or anything like that?
No, you don't sense, that they're going to, flay you, salt you, and have you as rations as they travel.
Or try to do that at least, right? 'Cause that ain't happening to me. All right, I'll move up a little closer then.
Okay. He and a group of 4 crossbow armed types. They're carrying their crossbows ported arms, but were you a person of normal speed, they could probably all get their bolts off before you could react. But yeah, they're definitely cautious as he approaches you, and he's got a crossbow slung on his back, but a spear in his hand, and he approaches and extends his hand to you.
All right, I'll reach out at a measured reach and grab his hand.
Bogo will hug his leg.
Oh.
Radiation and all. Thanks, Bogo.
He and the other tribesmen laugh. He says, this member of your small tribe is quite affectionate. Is it a youngling?
Honestly, I don't know what it is. Bogo, I'd advise you stay back, though,
Bogo does the international baby pick me up sign.
No, little one, I cannot.
Yeah, he does that. A lot. All the time.
He thinks it's
Rat it or
endearing.
not.
He thinks it's endearing.
Yeah.
He looks at 4077 and smiles and says, I've not before encountered the winged folk, yet they are not unfamiliar to my tribe's story. I was not told that they were so polite or comely.
Thank you for the compliment.
You are quite welcome. So, Numbers Rab, do you wish to trade with our tribe at all?
Well, I was mostly on a mission of information. I was hoping that you might be able to tell us a little bit about this area and whatnot, being that We are largely newcomers to Lana. However, perhaps there are things we could trade, especially if those things would assist my comrades with their maladies.
Perhaps we can. As I said, we know some ways of healing, but the injuries and mutations that are caused by the glow are beyond our ken, although it is said amongst our tribal elders that there were ancient energies and tinctures and potions that could treat such things. We do not know what they are and what they would be called. Please, you may come up to our tribal area. You and your friends and your bogao, is it called?
Whatever you want to call it's fine with me.
Of course. Come.
Follow
Pleasure.
him wherever he's going.
Yeah, we'll follow.
All right. He goes up a couple of flights of stairs in the building past the mezzanine. He tells the other guards, he says, you remain here and hold the watch. Steve, you are in charge until I return. So you go up another half turn of stairs and you come out onto a floor, and there's a couple of dozen tribesmen and women, some children. He steps forward and says, these are the travelers in the ancient chariot that we heard. They have asked to trade with us. Do any say against? Very well. Please approach, friends, and enter.
Thank
I'll
you.
bow to him. And
Okay. Alrighty. You're drawing quite a few stairs, particularly Bogo and 4077. There's near one of the broken out windows. It would have been on the opposite side of the building, so you guys wouldn't have seen the smoke. There's a good sized cook fire going. There's one of them has a sheet of metal over a grating on the cook fire and is putting some kind of meal porridge on it, sort of cooking a bread and then flipping it over. And some shredded tubers are being cooked to go with it. There's obviously little family units and whatnot. And they're all kind of watching you very carefully. He turns to you and says, it is healing you are looking for, yes?
Yeah, mostly. Or at least information. I alternately make smiles and funny faces at the little dirty children.
hey,
Okay.
they might be clean. They might just be grubby.
Yeah,
Grubby,
they're
dirty, whatever.
there's that, inevitable, you need a bath point after you spend months crawling through ruins and rubble. But generally speaking, they're not like filthy, not like Lord Humongous's gang or anything like that. More like the people inside the oil well kind of place. Anyway, he calls a woman over, and she's a little bit older, going gray, and says, "This is Ivana. She knows most of the healing abilities that we have. She is very skilled in, for example, see here, I was taken unaware by a batter, and he's got a pretty serious wound, but it looks like it was sewn up fairly ably. Ivana made sure that I was able to keep this hand."
The most excellent healer, I see. My own scars are not nearly as neat.
That was
She-
before I came on board.
She says, "Well, there's little I can do for old scars, but I am told that you are seeking some kind of assistance with a medical problem." No, she doesn't say medical. That one of you has taken a hurt.
Well, a couple of us, not myself, but a couple
kind
of
of-
us have been afflicted by the glow.
I'll kind of
Bogo.
describe the symptoms to her. So I'll kind of go to the side and describe the symptoms,
Okay.
medical to medical.
All right. And what does Bogo do?
Bogo's walking up to her with his hands raised, and he's saying, "Hurt my tummy is."
She smiles and says, I think we might be able to help you, little one. So she listens carefully and nods and says, I think we have just the thing. She roots around through some kind of multi-chambered pouch and presents each of you with a handful of dried leaves. They have a little tinge of green on them, and says, each of you chew these, then eat no more. Here, I will give you 2, and I will give you 2. Each of you eat those 2 berries. The sickness that comes when you approach the heat or the glow, the sickness in your bodies will abate. If you are exposed to too much of the glow, you may undergo the change. That they cannot cure. The sickness they can. The pustules and cankers on your little one, are those natural?
No.
I see. Then I
He
have
immersed himself inside a water source that had been affected by the glow.
Yes, I have this. And she just brings out an ancient jar with a piece of twine holding a piece of skin on top and says, come here, little one. This won't hurt you.
Bogo gives her big, sweet, innocent eyes and comes walking over with his hands raised.
Okay. She crouches down and proceeds to smother you in foul smelling salve.
And that's different than the usual smell that he's got out.
Yeah.
Bogo gives her a wink and gives her a kiss on the cheek.
Okay. She smiles and stands up and says sotto voce to 4077. I'm afraid the smell will persist for a while, but when the smell goes away, that should be when it has cured most of the burns from the glow or the heat.
Okay.
I'm going to choose
Very
some
good.
berries and leaves, I guess. Am I supposed to eat the leaves?
Yes.
Okay. I'm doing it anyway, I guess.
I could probably use some stitches myself. I took some scratches.
Okay. And then pops it in Bogo's mouth. Sorry, little comment from TJ there. And the woman breaks out a rectal thermometer.
Yeah. COVID test.
Yes. Leave your head
Pee in this cup.
I promise we washed that.
Okay, so Mark Hoover closed an IP deal. Music. That's awesome. You should celebrate with a super chat. I'm kidding. That's a standard bowling joke here, guys. You don't have to do that. Those who do, that's wonderful. Okay, so no rectal thermometers going in mouths or anything like that. Almost immediately, though, you guys chewing the leaves and the berries, like the churning in your stomach stops. The feeling that you're going to have to go visit the Thunder Bucket starts to abate. Mark, that was a joke, buddy. That was a joke. But yeah, that whatever was in those leaves and berries, it's working. But you feel better than you have in hours.
I ask her what the berries are. What kind of plant?
The berries are found on the bushes of the many long leaves. They are, we call them dragon berries. for when the wind blows a certain way, it looks like the leaves on the plant open and close like the mouth of a dragon. The leaves are something from ancient times called mintus.
Okay.
So, so while that's going on, the headmen of the tribe, you think they seem to be about as old as the medicine woman, come over, and they extend their hands likewise.
Sure, I shake hands.
Yeah, I'll shake their hands if they put it towards me.
Okay.
I will bow to them and also shake their hands if they offer.
Well, this is going on while you're talking
okay.
to.
Okay.
So they didn't feed Bogo pokeberries. You feel so good, you want to lay down forever.
This is known as Death Angel.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Angel's Trumpet? They fed you Angel's Trumpet and Jimson weed. Just do what comes naturally. We're going to stand back and watch. No. So the headman of the tribe, or the headman of the tribe, I should say, is named John. And he says, "I am told you wish to trade. And you also seek knowledge."
Indeed. Your kindness has known no bounds so far. I see that Balana is taking care of our injured, and I appreciate that very deeply. We have a few items that may be of interest. We'd also like to know primarily what you know about this area, as we are explorers ourselves. Perhaps you have come upon something that we have not, and the information would be invaluable.
Okay. Getting a whoops, totally cocked. He furrows his brow and says, "We come here to the ruins of Atlanta. There are a few tribes like us scattered through. Some have even made the outer places away from the where the ancient fires fell, their homes and their villages. We try to stay away from areas that are too ruined like this, but occasionally it is here that we find the most useful items. But I will tell you, we have taken much of the old goods that we can use back to our own main tribe. Nothing as miraculous as the cart of the ancients that you possess."
I understand. We've taken most of the things that we found back to our own home base. Nothing as miraculous as the car of the ancients. We keep that for ourselves, you know.
I understand. So, what do you wish to trade then?
Well, I have a crossbow. I see that you use those. I've got a couple of nades. I understand they emit a gas when thrown.
These nades, you call them?
Yeah.
He turns and chit-chat and he goes, yes, the death eggs of the ancients.
Death eggs, whatever you call them.
When you pull a piece of metal, another part falls away, and it must be thrown a great distance away. I have seen one of these used in the past.
I have two. I'd be willing to part with one for the right price, adjusted by the invaluable assistance you've already given us.
Okay. They have domars. They have some domars. How many domar do you ask for the ancient death eggs?
I can part with one of these for 7 Domar.
Then 14 domar for the both.
I'd like to hang on to one if you understand.
Of course. He reaches into a pouch, counts out 7 domar in one hand, and holds out the other for the grenade.
All right, great. I give him one of my death eggs.
He gives you 7 domar, and he kind of turns it over in his hand. Is this the grenade of the bright light? Is this the grenade of the black sun? Is it the grenade of the intense fire? Do you know?
It's the grade of the nade of the falling tears.
Ah, yes. We call it the choking tears. But if it is the same, then this is most useful.
The same.
He does not destroy. Occasionally, there are disagreements with other tribes, and to use such an item would be acceptable, as we do not like to kill if we can avoid it.
Yeah, that's my thought on the matter, And being that you've shown us such hospitality, I figured I'd let it go for half the price I would normally.
Most gracious of you, traveler.
And you.
Okay, so...
Bogo wants to ask...
Go ahead.
Bogo wants to ask the tribal chief if he has had any encounters with the mutant type empire that is from the high mountain.
He shakes his head and he says, "We have seen many mutants, but none called Empire of High Mountain, no."
Well, Bogo tells him, we ran into some here in Lanta, and they said they were looking to expand here.
Tell me more.
They are not friendly, I'll tell you that. And they have their emblem is 3 arms locking.
Yes, we have heard of them before. We have not seen them in our lands, but news comes to us. I think you mean they are coming from the rocky top to the north. Yes,
yeah,
rumors
sure.
of them trying to expand their lands have reached us. And you say you have seen them here in Lanta?
Yes, we fought them.
I see. Well, you must be a most formidable warrior then, little Bogo.
I am a deadly ninja.
Well, Bogo the deadly ninja, I proclaim you friend of the people of Ternar. He was one of the ancients, and we have seen his name emblazoned many places here in Lanta. And so, hoping to encapsulate his wisdom, we call ourselves the Ternar. Here, I have a token of his, and he holds up a rough piece of metal that's kind of been beaten and folded around the edges, so it doesn't slice his hand up. And there's a black oval, and the letters TURNER, just as he spoke, in the middle. He must have been a mighty chieftain of this place before the dark times.
Have you anything you wish to part of in terms of trade?
Well, I am afraid that we have little to offer you. You are here at a time when we are when we are preparing our midday meal. If you would care to sit and eat with us, this I would give gladly.
It would be my pleasure. I have one further question.
Yes,
I'm going to pull out an empty hydrogen cell. Are you familiar with these?
I know what this is. It's an espresso machine. No, he. No, wait. It's a snow cone maker. No, they kind of pass it around. We have seen items similar to it, but we have never been able to open one to use them as containers, so we leave them be.
Indeed. So I don't suppose you know of anywhere where we might replenish these containers.
I am afraid not, no. Such ancient technologies are largely beyond us. We find that the simple ways of the crossbow and the spear are the best. They are reliable things that you can touch with your hand. We do not discount the ancient powers, and we respect those who can wield them and command them, but they are largely beyond our ken.
Indeed, and to be honest with you, I find the crossbow and the spear to be most formidable weapons. I admire those who use them well. Assuming that I won't take any food out of anyone's mouths, I will gladly partake of your offering.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. Here, come, sit with us. You are. Food is brought out. It's good. It's hot. It's very plain. There is a stack of thin bready cakes brought out to all of you, and some just some other assorted odds and ends. King on the Mountain asks if we could pause real quick. What system does Gamma World use? That's an interesting question. If players, if I could just pause for a hot moment.
Oh, that's fine.
It is designed to be compatible with first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. It was developed by Jim Ward, who worked at TSR. This is the second ever science fiction RPG. So he designed it with the idea that if you knew how to play AD&D, you could shift into playing Gamma World with relative ease. And in fact, in first edition AD&D, there are rules for having Gamma World characters visit fantasy settings and fantasy characters going into Gamma World. So, a little bit of trivia there. So, you have a very pleasant meal. They make small talk. We narrowly avoided a herp 2 suns ago. It was a small one, perhaps only a few meters across. So, it's just generally very pleasant talk. These are decent, simple folk. They're not like, oh, you can make fire with a small box. How does that happen? It's witchcraft. But at the same time, there's a lot of tech that they don't even have words for anymore.
Do they have rations that we can take with us to replenish our food stores?
I'm sorry, hang on 1 second.
Sure.
Yeah, they don't really have any rations to trade. The stuff for the road, he said, the guard says, "Were you in my village?" I would see that all your hungers were fed.
Bow chicka bow bow.
So, hey, don't worry. I got to keep this PG-13 because it's YouTube, guys. Don't think, I'm not turning it into an RPG horror story. Get off Reddit, you people. I don't want to see like Crispy's whatever or all those other guys saying, DM
I
turns
was
into
not
an
going there.
RP on my character. That's not happening.
No.
King and Rust, I do not play. I have played second edition. I have played all but fourth edition. Nobody I knew ever wanted to play 4E, so it never came up. I have played 2E. I play AD&D almost exclusively, but as I have said, I played a lot of third in the very early 2000s, a little bit of Pathfinder with some friends, and I play tested 5E during its development phase. So anyway, to move on. He they don't really have any rations, and he obviously made a pass at you. But other than that, no.
Okay. So did I get some healing then when she stitched me up and stuff?
Yes. Well, your cuts and scrapes were not. We're not stitching you up level of bad, but she has some different salve. Just has kind of a neutral odor to it. Your internal systems are basically reacting like, "Hey, what is that? We can fix ourselves. Stop!" But it's not causing you any injury.
Okay. It's just that aerial combat kind of beat me up a little bit. So.
I understand, dear. I understand.
Okay.
I asked them how long they're planning on staying. Or are they planning to go back to their main encampment? Or is this an outpost?
We scout the ruins of Lanta from time to time. We will stay as long as it takes.
So, yeah, are you looking for something very specific, or just scavenging, or trying to protect yourselves?
Perhaps all of these.
Okay. Yep, that sounds like a very familiar circumstance that we're also in the business.
I indicate the direction that
Go ahead.
I indicate the direction of the medical facility that we're heading towards, and I ask if they've scouted that way at all, that they might know what's ahead.
Yes, the that building, we have explored somewhat in it. Many strange devices of metal there. We have taken many of them. There may be others up higher. We have not climbed up high in the building, nor do we go to the under areas. It is often dark, and it was in there that I encountered the batter, which injured me. Not in that specific ruin, but in a ruin. He turns back to Numbers and says, "Numbers, Rab, you have a small tribe here, yes?"
Yeah.
Perhaps with some consideration, the elders of our tribe would allow your tribe to join with us. Your understanding of the technology of the ancients and so on would be a welcome boon to the people of Turn R.
While I would gladly accept your offer under normal circumstances, we're in a mission of our own. Well, not necessarily our own, but we're on a mission given by the larger part of our tribe.
So there are more of you. Are they?
And there are more of us,
Here?
not the same of us, but we're an exploratory party from our fortress, so to speak.
I do not know this place of fortress, but if you are
We
on a
refer to it as sanctuary sometimes.
well, if you are on if you are on a quest, then far be it from us to impede you in any. Although, again, were it just your small group, it would be most welcome if you would consider joining us.
And I appreciate it very much. Unfortunately, it would cause problems down the line, and should I change my mind, I feel like I have a pretty good idea of where to find you.
Indeed, we use this place sometimes. Oh, and Mark Hoover thinks you sound like Tom Waits. Well, that's a pretty good compliment, I think. Okay. If I had Tom Waits playing, it'd be all over YouTube. Yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna run a magic user there, Bill. Well, I think it's wonderful. I didn't expect to have all women in the audience tonight. Anyway, so yeah, he just makes some more small talk, and you guys are full. Like, your bellies are fuller than they have been since the last time you spent a long time at Sanctuary.
Bogo lets loose
Right.
with the foghorn.
Okay. Well, I see your podling seems to have enjoyed it.
Is there an open area in the back here where the fire is and such?
Yeah. It looks like something took out a chunk of wall. It's almost a patio over
So
where that.
is open air above us?
No, not directly above you, but over where the cook fire is.
But like, is there a space above that I could like fly a little bit if I wanted to?
Not directly above. You'd have to go to the stairs and go up further, or go over to a window and jump out.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Okay.
If there was like an indoor atrium in that, I'd stretch my wings a little bit, but
All right. Anything
Bogo
else?
also
Go ahead.
Bogo wants to warn them of the killer androids.
All right.
at the police department.
Yeah, they're all ears. Are you talking about androids like human looking, or are you warning them about robots?
Yes.
Both. Well, the ancient moving metals, these robots, as you call them, we have seen them before. Some express amity, and we're able to communicate with them. They are strange and speak to us of unknown and unknowable things. Then there are others which seem as dumb as beasts and twice as dangerous as the most ferocious herps. And then there are still some that are as tall as a man, but move as swift as the wind and are equally dangerous. We give all of these a wide berth, of course. But these that look like men and yet kill like machines, these androids, we have never seen such. Do they strike without warning? Do they wish to conquer and enslave?
they wish to wipe out all living things.
This is distressing. And how will we know them other than when they attack with their terrible ancient energy throwers?
They will move fast, and they will be deadly. They will shoot first.
A lot of times they'll talk first, too. They'll tell you something about being selected for extermination and this and that.
A wave of fearful murmurs goes through this group. The head of the guard stands up and says, "No! Tribe, be not afraid." He holds up his spear. You know, it's an alloy tube with a fixed alloy head. He said, "We too have metal, and we have projectors," and holds up his crossbow. "We can fight and destroy these androids. Tell us where they are and where their tribe is, and I will take, when we return to our village, I will take our fiercest warriors, and we shall wipe them out. They will not threaten us."
They are extremely dangerous, even with our advanced ancient technology. They can be a lot to deal with. However, far be it from me to discourage your bravery. I find it admirable.
Oops. Had a little hot button malfunction there. Well, nothing interferes with the safety of the tribe.
You're my kind of guy.
Okay. They ask you if you have any other business. It's getting into the afternoon at this point. You know, he's getting his good information exchange with this guy.
Yeah, we should probably be on our way. Thank you very much. It's much appreciated.
So be it. Be well, Doom Sword. I'm sorry, no, he says, "Be well, Numbers Rab." Sorry, that was the Bill messing up there.
Yeah, Doom Sword's my nickname, you know. I don't know how you knew it, but you knew it. Be well.
Okay. You depart. You've at least got a full stomach and 7 domars that you didn't have before, and you're down one grenade. On your way out, the guardsman again speaks to 4077 and says, "We could use your healing help at the village, you know. Your friends would be welcome to visit you at any time."
As honorable as that sounds, they need me. But we know where you are. And we have some idea of where your tribe may be, so who knows what the future holds.
Indeed. Well, 4077. Until we meet again.
Until we meet again.
Alrighty, so you guys pile in your Durango 9000 and go peeling off down the streets of the ruined streets of Atlanta.
And on to the medical facility, hopefully.
Hopefully to the hospital. So you start, you're weaving in and out and so on until finally, you come to what surely must be the building, or at least you think. There are faded ancient splotches of red and white paint, a couple of completely stripped, like to the point that there's like a metal box and a little bit of frame sticking on it, ancient vehicles sitting out in front of it, a long expanse of road that you can pull up right in front of it if you wish to.
I would say we wish to.
Yeah.
Let's park
That's
right
what
in
I
front.
wish to do.
All right.
Right. Get out, disable the vehicle once everybody's out.
All right. This must have been a place where only royalty came, because you see King Jency. There's a broken sign in the words King Jency.
King James, yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Well,
Sounds like
looks
a
like
good
I'm
place
in the
to
right
be.
place.
Yep.
I didn't bring any honoraries. Does it have intact doors, or is it just an entryway?
Actually, it does have intact doors. They are transparent, smudged, and yellowed, but you can see through. There is some kind of opening there, or open space there, I should say. This
I
is
turn the
internet.
spotlight on and I shine it inside to see if there's any movement.
Okay, well, it largely reflects off the glass back in your face, but you don't see anything moving.
Okay. I'll approach the doors.
Okay.
See if we can open them.
Well, give me a D6 roll. I'm doing it D&D style. Roll a D6.
Okay. Got a 5.
Yeah. You yourself can't budge these.
I'll lend a hand.
Okay, give me a D6. That's how
a
compatible.
2.
That's a 2. Yeah. What's your strength? It's pretty high, isn't it?
Well, it's a 14. No, 15.
Oh yeah. You kind of fit your fingers in where 4077's trying to pull, and between the two of you, you're able to slide these two valves apart, and you can now enter.
I'll shine the spotlight in. Shine it around.
This chamber is almost completely bare. There are some bits of metal that seem attached to the floor somehow that are bent in a way to suggest that maybe you sat here. In one corner, there is a desk that is roughly chest high, and you see some kind of off-white box sitting on it.
Are there additional doors or anything else through the room?
Yes, there is a hall that goes straight back, and then there are two branching off to the left and the right at angles.
All right. Which way should we go?
I'm going to look in the box. Can I look in the box, or is it not something that opens?
No, you can go over and look at the box, and immediately upon approaching it, you recognize what looks like some kind of device of the ancients. There is a grayish, blackish glass plate on the front. There is an array of squares, all of which have very faded markings, one on each one. The box that you saw from across the room sits on a lower box that is just as wide and is the same off-white color.
We need some retro bright for this. I'm going to see if I can turn it on. Does it have a switch, a button, a dial?
Roll a d10.
This is tech?
This is tech, yes.
Okay. I'm going to do it in the channel, as usual.
All right.
I have a -5. No, a 4. The 4.
So you're at a -4 on your tech rolls, right?
-5, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. So you're like walk over, click.
It turns on.
Let's see. You turn your baseball cap around. This is Unit. You know this.
I'm in.
When you push the button, let's see. Oh wow. Okay. You hear a faint hum from somewhere within inside, and then you kind of smell an acrid odor, and the red light that came on when you flipped the button immediately shuts off.
Those damn Reefa caps. That's what that is.
Reefa filter. There you go.
Oh, damn it.
Power
I was like,
filter.
well, this is worthless, and it's going to stink in here for a long time. Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah, it was worth looking. I thought maybe it'd tell us something.
Okay. It tells you need to take it to the 61st descendant of Adrian Black, but that's a little YouTube joke for you. All right. Well, I think that's where we're gonna pump the brakes. Can a player see the live stream chat? Yeah, you guys can see the live stream chat.
Yeah,
but,
we can't respond unless
Not
we're
in
YouTube.
StreamYard. Yeah.
But anyway, so we're going to come back next week and find out what is in the ancient medical place of Lanta. Will it be some useful stuff, useless junk, another color TV for BOGO to add to the collection?
One can only hope, Bill.
I say if BOGO finds one more and a hydrogen cell, he should start making tech rolls to build an inline power array. So he can fire them all up. But thank you everyone for watching. Thanks for hanging out. And guys, please don't for a minute think that just because WotC caved today that we can relent. Hammer them on OGL 1.0A. Demand that they make it irrevocable. Don't let go. I want to thank everybody for the super chats, everybody who subscribed, our wonderful sponsors over at Hellebard Games, and of course our 4 players. Say goodnight, Sapphire.
Good night.
Do re move on out of here, Kevin.
Good night, Sapphire.
Here's Rab. You are down to 0, so we will see you next time.
See ya.
And I know you've been wanting to do this. Let me just take my headphones off.
Boo-bye.
Everybody have an absolutely wonderful evening. I've got to scoot. I have an SOS call I have to attend here. Please keep Volcano God in your thoughts, everyone. Please. And have a lovely evening. Peace.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around. Some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle way off course? Naked as a toad, all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.